Hey everyone, Karen with Karen Goes Carnivore. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to my couch when we're just exploring this way of eating and the healing process that comes along. Okay, just so you know, no medical advice, entertainment purposes only. If you like this content, it would be amazing if you helped the channel get moving by subscribing and liking the video. Thank you so much. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what I have learned about the difference between keto and carnivore. Okay. So keto, and again, this is just my understanding and what I've learned even from AI, like what the difference is. So keto is low carb, moderate protein. Okay, so it's the focus is low carb, which is what I did the first 30 days before I went carnivore. Now, I had actually planned on just staying keto. I didn't even know there was carnivore, but as I got into the keto world, I started getting videos on YouTube popping up for carnivore. Okay. So yeah, so keto is just like it's a slightly less extreme version of low carb. Okay, so the carb count is usually between like 20 and 50 grams of carbs a day. So it's quite low because even a teaspoon of honey is like 17 carbs. So if you were going to do a teaspoon of honey every day, then, that's pretty much your carb count. So you have to really kind of play with that. And the main idea is to get into ketosis, which is where your body gets its energy from. It's going to burn your fat so basically it's burning your fat for energy. Okay. So the carnivore is zero carb approach. Okay. Focusing entirely on animal foods, meat, fish, eggs, sometimes dairy. Just depends on, what your goals are. And, every once in a while I have some cheese. And it's funny because my taste buds have completely changed. And I don't even really care to have the cheese anymore, which I find fascinating after just 60 days total of keto, 30 days, and then carnivore for about 5 weeks now. So the main difference is keto allows low carb vegetables and nuts and some dairy. Carnivore is exclusively animal based. Okay, so that's really kind of the main. So keto foods would be like meat, fatty fish, eggs, low carb vegetables, broccoli, spinach, zucchini, which I would encourage you if you are on this for a health healing journey, not just weight loss, but a healing journey, to look at this book called Toxic Superfoods. I will list it below. It's it's a good book. It's important to understand what vegetables have oxalates and some things that are causing inflammation in some of our bodies. Okay, so if you haven't learned about it, it's at least important to consider it. Some vegetables have lower oxalates and some have high oxalates, which cause inflammation in our bodies. So we just got to be careful about that if you're on a healing journey. Okay, so keto, again, healthy fats, butter, olive oil, coconut oil, nuts, seeds, small amount of berries. Okay. Carnivore is mostly beef, pork, chicken, lamb, fish, seafood. Excuse me. The little clearing, see, this is part of my healing process, this clearing that's going on. It definitely is. It's getting less and less, but I do have had this clearing thing going on most of my life. I can remember actually when it started from me eating tomatoes. I was like 30-ish, and I remember like, what is that? I remember having that distinct, thought when I was at a conference actually, and it was the first time I ever had to start clearing my throat after I ate, and I remember eating tomatoes. So it's kind of interesting. I was definitely paying attention to my body back then, but I didn't pay attention enough to stop eating tomatoes, that I might have some allergy to it or something. So here I am clearing my voice. Okay, so carnivore, more eggs, butter, animal fats, optional dairy, so cream, cheese, cream, that sort of thing. So high fat though, nothing low fat. And depending on your tolerance, you might want to, you might decide to eliminate dairy for a period of time, which is what I'm doing, and just then add some things back and see how you feel. once you've got some healing done. So basically no plant, no foods, no grains, no sugar, no fiber. Okay. So the goal for keto is to keep carbs low enough to enter ketosis, which again is burning fat for fuel. And just a reminder, I'm not a medical doctor. This is just stuff I've learned. Okay. And I'm not recommending anything for anybody. Okay. So use at your own discretion, the information. So yeah, keep carbs low enough to enter ketosis, burn fat for fuel, while still eating a variety of low carb foods. So it definitely gives you more choices, more options, which I actually, now that I'm doing carnivore, realize I actually prefer not to have so many choices. It actually makes it, my whole life now, I look back and it's always made it more complicated for me. So carnivore, the goal for carnivore generally is to eliminate all plant foods for maximum gut rest. Okay, so it's like an elimination, all right? Inflammation reduction is a huge thing, and that's what you'll find. Like, I have arthritis in my thumbs, my mom had it, but I find that it acts up because it's only because of inflammation. So a lot of days, now I don't have as much strength in my thumbs, and I don't know if I'll ever get that back. I'm not sure. I'll let you know. Hopefully I continue this for like a year and I'll be like, I got strength in my thumbs again. I don't know, but I don't have any aches, it's hard for me sometimes to use my thumbs for things, like opening jars, but the inflammation is like a huge thing. Okay. We carry a lot of water weight. Carbs add water to your body, basically. So your cells absorb water from your carbs. So the first 5 pounds I lost on keto, when I first went keto, is for that first 30 days was all water weight. It was all water weight. So I was been carrying 5 pounds of water weight on for, we all do, So, and then that's also part of what's causing inflammation in our bodies. So, and then the goal of carnivore is simplified eating. And it really is, I find it amazing. I'm so happy about that. I just feel I do like minimalist stuff, and I never tried minimalist in terms of eating where I actually was satisfied. Like, I'm actually satisfied. I don't think if I did a minimalist diet, plant-based, which I was plant-based 100%, like vegan plant-based for a year, for, a full year one, about 5 years ago. And I would have never simplified that diet. I don't think I would have been happy I couldn't eat the same thing. Like, I can eat the same steak over and over and over again. It's quite satisfying. And I think it's satisfying because my body wants it. My body is nourished by it. And I did hear that your taste buds will change, and mine are changing. I can tell it's changing. So basically ketosis, the nice thing about carnivore is different than keto. Is keto, you do have to watch. You have to be, like, you might kick yourself out of ketosis if you're not really kind of tracking your carbs. But with keto, you don't have to do that. Your ketosis just happens naturally. So that's a really nice thing. So keto benefits, you do have more variety in your food, definitely. Can be easier socially or out at restaurants that we haven't tackled yet. But I am going out to eat next week with some friends, and I just made sure. I just said, they said, do you care? And I said, hey, as long as it has some meat options or some fish options on the menu, I don't care. And I will ask the cook to make sure, the chef, to not cook anything with seed oils, basically. I'll just ask them to either cook it in just without any oils, or butter or olive oil, maybe. I don't really eat olive oil at all, but just butter would be great. So keto, yeah, definitely probably easier socially at restaurants, supports weight loss, metabolic health, and brain function. Keto challenges is carb creep. Like I said, you got to really track that. It's just so much easier not to have to track it. So accidentally eating too many carbs, possible gut irritation from plants. I've heard a lot of people on carnivore who cleared up a lot of gut issues, and I definitely have gut issues. That's part of this clearing my throat. right? So, yeah, so plants can definitely cause those gut issues. So carnivore benefits is ultra simple food choices. I mean, it's very, very simple. May help autoimmune issues, gut healing and inflammation. I've heard so many testimonials now of people like doing interviews, and I list the channels below. It's amazing. I'm just so excited about that. I don't have autoimmune, but for people who do, if you just give this a try, I'm so excited for people who give this a try, which is why I want to talk about this, because the healing part of this is, I'm so tired of like everything's about weight loss. This is not about weight loss. This is about healing our bodies, healing our minds. I cannot tell you how calm I am. After 30 days of carnivore, I have never been this calm in my entire life. My nervous system has calmed down like 75%. And I have had that for 56 years. 56 years. I mean, I think back, and I'm not going to do woulda, coulda, shouldas, but I think back at how much my nervous system has affected my behavior, my, interacting with people. And it is so calm. I'm not even sure how to deal with it. I'm just like, wow, it's just crazy. It's really interesting. And I don't ever want this to go away, which is, I think, what happens to people on carnivore is once you get over the kind of the humps of being fat adapted, you got to get fat adapted. I talked about that in my 30-day video. Like the first 30 days, I'll post that video right here. But at the end of this video, it'll pop up. So yeah, so it's just crazy how calm I am. And the thing is that you end up sleeping so much better, and that's happening to me, which may be relating to my nervous system calming down. If you don't get good sleep, your nervous system doesn't have time to rest, right? So it's amazing. Yeah, so constant satiety with protein and fats, true. Like you do have, although now I am starting to learn, that's one thing I've learned from the doctors on carnivore on YouTube, and I will link them below. The one thing I've learned is that we don't really, when you're on a standard American diet, you don't really know your hunger, what do they call that? So you don't really know your hunger cues anymore. You just always, with carbs, you just kind of always feel a little hungry. You know what I mean? But now I'm starting to, only after 30 days. Once I learned that was something, I thought, oh yeah. And once I got fat adapted, because I was feeling, when you're getting fat adapted, you feel a little like, I can't eat any more fat. But once you get fat adapted, then now I just will eat when I'm hungry. Like I do not have scheduled times. And the thing is, I won't enjoy the steak that I'm eating or the hamburger that I'm eating for lunch. I won't enjoy it unless I'm hungry. So I will wait until I'm hungry. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so because I do have the egg yolk in my coffees, which I talked about in my 30-day. So, and butter. So I have those in my coffee. And so I wait until I'm hungry, and then the same meat just tastes really good, So satiety is a really good, that's the one thing that is a huge benefit for me is the food noise. I forgot to mention that in my 30 days. Gone. Like I don't even think about snacking at night anymore. I was a snacker. I've been a snacker at night for 20 years. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I didn't want to snack at night. And it's like it would call to me, the snacking. It would call to me. I'd have to go snack. Even I wasn't even hungry, but I'm like, oh, it was, it would call to me. And I would always save my sugar stuff for nighttime, because if I had it during the day, I'd fall asleep. I wouldn't have energy. So I'd save it before I went to bed. Well, that's really good for your body and your brain. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I have no food noise. It's amazing. The only thing is like my husband's birthday was yesterday, and I did feel a little like psychological, like, oh, we would normally go out for ice cream. We have to find new things to do for fun. So now we are living to not eat. We are eating to live, not living to eat. And we've always been living to eat. All of our entertainment has always been around food. Going out on Friday nights for dinner, going out for ice cream, that's going to the fair just so we could go eat the food. Now we need to go to the fair to go to the fair. But now we're like, we don't really want to go to the fair. It depends on what fair it is. I do like fairs, but like I wouldn't go to just any fair, So it's really, that's an interesting shift. Okay. So carnivore challenges is definitely limited variety. So if variety is important to you, it hasn't been important to me so far, but you could do, if you still liked cooking, you could get a cookbook like this, Carnivore in the Kitchen. I always have my favorite resources listed below. So there's a lot of different options in here. And so like I posted in my last video for my husband's birthday, I am going to cook him these, he doesn't know it, but I'm going to make him these carnivore cupcakes. Well, I'm going to put a little stevia in them because I put stevia in my coffee. So, and social situations can maybe be tricky. I don't know. I haven't had any yet. So I think I'm old enough to be, whatever. I've seen people in my family who've had to have certain diets for whatever reason. I'm not worried about that at all. So, yeah. So I think, I don't know, do you have any questions? I probably am not the best person to ask. I just wanted to go over a little bit about what I've learned between the difference between keto and carnivore. And so you can kind of decide if that's something that you want to try. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. That would be amazing. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.